Day 7 of this juice cleanse, and it started in my sleep. My dreams, the most vivid I've had probably in years, and they went on for ages, which is a good thing. It's a good sign. It means my body's cleansing. My view on having clear dreams, it means your frequency is higher, therefore you're able to retain what happens during your sleep. I think if you're not retaining your dreams, it's because they're too traumatic for you to process, because you've got that much going on in your body that's damaging. I woke up two minutes before my alarm went off, which again is unusual because I've not been getting up that early usually. So that is also a good sign. It's almost like your nervous system had its own body clock that it was working towards. So then got up, I had some cleansing herbs with the pineapple, cucumber, mint, coriander and coconut water juice. So that was really good. Then did some breath work on the way to padel. Well, warmed up in the kitchen for padel because I was told the night before that who we were playing were really good, so we need to bring the A game. So warmed up, got in the car, breath work in the car, which must look unusual if anyone's driving past or in front, but you've got to get it done. So turned up, played padel. They were really good. I played really well, even better than the time before, which was my best, playing shots that I'd not even been able to execute on before. But we did lose, although we won the second set 6-0 just in a state of flow, but I think that's because I was playing most of the shots, whereas my partner wasn't really playing too well, and I think without blaming him, it's his fault. So we ended up losing, which is fine. My shoulder, unfortunately, towards the last couple of games, it did go again, and I could feel the pain, so that kind of ruined it a little bit. But just remind you that things you've been doing for a long period of time are not going to heal overnight. So I'm fine with that, as much as it's upsetting and frustrating. It's been fine since, but yeah, I did notice that my shoulder kind of went. So yeah, I had a coffee afterwards, a little chit chat. I tell just the way that I engage with people, the energy is really positive and people have a laugh, and just soft things that are going on where you're like, I'm just flowing, I'm just in the vibe here, I'm just in the moment, which it's hard to explain unless you do it. But the longer I go, the more I don't want to get preachy, but you really want to try this. If you found this video, give it a try. Whatever's going on in your life, it will improve it. There's obviously exceptions to that, but the majority of people will get a significant health benefit in all aspects of your life from doing this. So I'd highly recommend doing it. So after padel, I needed to get some stuff for juicing. But I didn't think about it. I was just like in my own world. Drove back home, was like, shit, I need my stuff. And I nearly got out of the car and thought, you know what, I'll just manage it today, have some water, maybe go to the shop, get some oranges, just kind of like get through the day. But then I realised I flopped on day 4, and the day before that it was a scenario where I didn't juice early enough, so I didn't want to make the same mistake twice, because if I had have done, then I would have risked breaking it and maybe telling you a different story on this video. So I'm really happy I did that. So I did got all my stuff. I ended up bumping into an old investor who I've not seen for years, so I've always wanted to reach out, but I was a little bit ashamed because I respect the person. I didn't want him to look down on me because I'd got to put a lot of weight on from when I was last, like that. This is when I was doing the health stuff last, 5 or 6 years ago, just before COVID. But I saw him, and there was a moment where I'm not sure if he saw me. I think he did, but maybe he didn't recognise me. And it could have been one of them where you just pretend you don't see each other. I don't know if you've had them situations where you almost avoid speaking to somebody. But I thought, no, I'm going to face this. So I ended up having a chat, 20-minute chat with him, good catch up. He was telling me some stuff, I was sharing bits about my journey, what's going on. I originally met him boxing, funnily enough. And obviously I've got that WhatsApp group with a few people in it. And we're actually more people are looking to join, which is a separate thing for Saturday as well, which is great because that's not happened since we set this, for years in this group as well. So there's all sorts of things going on that are hard to explain, but things are just falling into place. So I've added him to the group, and then Saturday we're all going to be sparring again, which is again where I met him, talked about what I did, and then he asked me a pertinent question which I'll never forget. We was in the car park after sparring, and he said to me, he's like, what does the company you work for do for you that you can't do for yourself? And I pondered it. I was thinking, I was like, nothing really. He's like, so what's stopping you from doing it on your own? And I just said, money. He said, well, I can help with that. Now this is off the back of sparring for months and months, loads of conversations. So we built a rapport. I used to have long conversations in the car park with him because he's a really knowledgeable guy, very analytical. And I always like to pick people's brains because a lot of that's lost in society now. Like, older people have a lot of wisdom and we're kind of disconnected from that. So I've always been mindful to engage with people who've got more life experience than me, because you might not agree with all the world views, and there's some views he has that I don't agree with, and vice versa. But you can always learn things from people who have got more experience and from different backgrounds. So I always used to pick his brains, and for months and months, and then it kind of fast forward and it led to him asking me that question. Fast forward, we ended up going into business prior to COVID. And it's funny that I've met him now whilst I've set up my business again. Like, you couldn't write it. So I mentioned that to him and it kind of raised an eyebrow. He did lose a bit of money when we set up the business, but I did it as well in a way because I wasn't taking a salary. And that was his point when I said I don't think it's working and I need to go back into work because I'm isolated, I've got no money. And he was very understanding, but I've always felt a little bit guilty about that because he put in the money, and as much as I lost money in earnings, that's money he'd earned and he'd kind of invested in me. So if I could make my business a success, I'd really like to pay him back with interest, because he took a chance on me, just someone he sort of punched the shit out of for a few months and vice versa. It's kind of funny that they say the most honest conversation you can have is in the boxing ring, and I do believe that you come out of it and people, you gain respect and you give respect because you have that conversation through swinging hands. So that was a really good conversation that I had with him. It was really healing for me because the fact that I'd built this big narrative and big demon in my mind of not reaching out to him, and then if I'd not gone to the shop and just gone in the house, that never would have happened. So, and we did agree to go and have a catch up and a drink. I mentioned I was doing this cleanse. Obviously my trolley was full of fruit and veggies, and he's been like getting a healthier balance with drinking and stuff as well. He looks after himself, he's in probably his late 50s, he might even be 60, I think he might be 60, but he looks after himself, he's lean, he's again very analytical and scientific with his approach to health. We've got differing views on that. Obviously me doing this, it's not really something he subscribes to, even though he massively benefit from it, but I do appreciate his views, his own, and you have to kind of allow that. You can't force people to see things your way. And it's not healthy to do that because who are you to do it? So that's like 7:30 in the morning. So very productive morning already before you've even hit 8 o'clock. I've come back, I've done my juice. So I made beetroot, carrot, cucumber, ginger, turmeric, lemon, limes, apple and spinach. I call it beauty juice. And I felt great on it all day. I felt great. Having done that, it's really given me a great balance of energy. Like, I try and make my juices quite balanced with some greens, with some fruits, and then with a bit of ginger and turmeric when it's appropriate. Like with the pineapple one, you can't put ginger and turmeric in it because it just overpowers it, so the balance isn't right. And then the coconut water just reduces that concentration. If you think your body's like 70-80% water, so when you're concentrating all that nutrition, it's good to use coconut water as a way to dilute the juice a little bit, but it's diluted with, like, your tap water's full of fluoride and other bad stuff, which is not good for you at all. So I like to use coconut water because of all the good stuff that it has as a way to balance out the juices. So yeah, I topped it up with coconut water. I've had loads of that juice today. Fast forward to 10 a.m. Well, say fast forward after the juicing. I did some more breath work whilst I was juicing as well. I tried to talk myself out of it, but I've kind of kept this mantra of being like aggressive with the health stuff. And that's something I want to carry forward as well. Try and be conservative with destructive stuff. Well, it's not necessarily destructive, but stuff that's toxic to your body, like drinking, like having bad foods. But then be really aggressive with the health stuff. So not necessarily say, idealistically you'd want to have nothing unhealthy, but realistically it's not going to happen. Not for me anyway at this stage of my life. Whether it's a karma thing that I have to deal with or not, that's just the reality of it. So if I can be conservative with the bad, i.e. don't have that extra bit of food or don't have that extra drink, but then when it comes to the health, have the extra drink, have the extra bit of herbs, have that as a balance. The compounding effect over days to months, weeks, months, years, I'd like to think that's significant. So got to 10 o'clock, had a meeting with a client. So this client was somebody that is actually the first person that spent a bit of money on the business, doing a commercial model for him. And I've had a bit of a monster in terms of building the website. I want the website to look slick, but it's a big challenge and I don't really have the skill set to do it. But this company, he's got developers, and he said, well, I'll help you with that, Luke. So we've built up a good relationship. I've been trying to help him as much as possible so he gets as much value as possible. You could argue above and beyond what I've charged, but my view is it always comes back when you do that. Whether he tells somebody else or whatever happens, he'll be a reference for me down the line, which is really powerful. So I explained, I want to get my website done, and we're talking about different software tools like Notebook LM and all that good stuff that I'd recently learned about, which is really powerful. And he said, well, I can help you with your website, which is great. So that's something else that's been addressed today as well. So that monster of the website's been addressed. The monster of wanting to reach out to somebody who was really helpful in my life for a long period of time. And it's all just sorted by 11 a.m. So these things sound, from the outside in, you'd think, well, when you actually look at that, it doesn't sound like much at all. But I know how big those things were, and these are things like the website's been something maybe 7 months that I've kind of been putting off, kicking down the road, and then the avoiding speaking to my investor, which then you feel guilty about because again he's invested his time, it's not just his money and his knowledge. So I felt really guilty about all of that, and then that just got healed instantly through one conversation. So it's interesting how you create all these narratives in your head that it's not reality. You do create your reality in some ways because you tell yourself these things and you almost validate them by not taking action to address them. And if you feel like that, again, it's another reason to do the juicing. It's not just about weight loss, it's about all these other things that surface, the frequency raising. And I don't really believe in coincidence because there's too many of them that happen. In isolation you can argue the point, but when you put them together, it's just mad what happens. So I'm really grateful that I've persevered. That one decision to go to the shop was a big thing. I'm seeing updates on the group about Saturday, so it looks like there's at least 4 of us, if not 5, which that's not happened for years. So again, all of these things that I'm seeing after padel, so what was 7 o'clock now, I've got no aches and I played hard, moved quicker, shots were cleaner. It's like to see the ball, could see shots that I've not seen before. So there's a lot of things going on that outside in looking like are intangible, but I can tell in my body what's going on. And again, the only way to fully understand that is to try it yourself. So that took me to about 11 o'clock. I did crash a little bit in the afternoon, and one thing I've realised is when you do intense exercise early in the morning with this stuff, even though you're consuming a lot of juice, you do need to have a little bit of a lie down, a rest, which I did. and then decided to have a bath, and I put in some oregano oil, cayenne pepper and ginger, so dried crushed ginger, which was really like detoxifying, so that was good. Come out the bath, felt reinvigorated again, had another juice with some herbs, and then now I'm back on it. So here I am talking to you about my day. So it's day 7, I'm feeling great, I've got no cravings, I mean I'm feeling better than great, and I'm enjoying the fact that I've built some momentum. This top again, loosest it's felt in a long time. When I was laid down, there's like, my wardrobe's got mirrors on them, and I could see like how much weight has come off. So I don't know what I weigh, but I could see it and I could feel it. So that's really nice as well, to not look at yourself and think, ugh. I mean, it's still a bit, but not like before, and that's just 7 days in. So still really full of beans, full of motivation to keep going. I'm even thinking, do you know what, it'll get to day 10 and I might continue, because why not capitalise on this momentum while I've got it.